Hello, classmates. I didn't write my discussion post because I'm so tired from making these tutorial videos for my students' math classes. I teach synchronous classes all day long, but I need to prepare everything in case their internet went down so they can make up assignments. So I'm using OBS Studio to do screencasts. They are not limited to 5 minutes like Screencastify. And I'm using GeoGebra to do all this geometry stuff. Anyway, I know that's not what you're interested in right now. I'm not going to write out my discussion. I'm too tired. But I did read, We Want to Do More Than Survive, and I took 2 pages worth of notes. Whenever I'm reading these topics about race and education, I always want to see real examples, like to show what they're talking about, because I'm not dark, so I haven't lived this. And then additionally, I actually lived out of the country for the last 14 years, so I'm not sure what all this is about. So here are some points that stood out to me that I could relate to. Is the author talked about anti-darkness, and she gave these examples. When dark people are presented in school curriculum as unfortunate circumstances of history. And that I understood, because that is how dark people are presented in school curriculum. It makes us feel like shy around them because they must have hardships that we don't know about. It seems like they have only hardships. So that's something I understood or could relate to. And another point the author said about anti-darkness is that it can happen without dark children even being in the room. So when whites are together discussing issues about the unfortunate circumstances of history, they paint a bad picture of the history of darks. So I think that I understand how that is an example of anti-darkness. And then another example she pointed out is when whites attend schools away from darks. And she mentioned charter schools. Well, I actually moved to Tucson just because there's a high-ranking charter school here. I moved from another country just to put my kids in that school. I had no idea if it's white or not. I don't know. I mean, we lived as foreigners in another country for 14 years, so I don't agree that people who choose charter schools are just looking to be with other whites. I just chose mine because of the school rankings. Another point that was very interesting is that the author compared education testing companies to the prison system. That education testing companies make millions of dollars, and I didn't write down the exact numbers, but she said it and I double checked them online. They make millions of dollars, and then they spend a good fraction of that to lobby Congress to keep standardized testing. So the more we punish our students with these standardized tests, the more money they make, and they're the ones pushing for it. And she compared that to the prison system, which profits off of our wrongdoings, of course. So the more schools fail, then the more students maybe don't graduate and end up in prison. And then the the prisons make a lot of profit off of that. They're making also millions and millions, and they're spending a good fraction of that to lobby Congress for harder punishments. So that was a very interesting comparison. I took other notes too. The author started out describing intersectionality versus diversity. And I'm not sure if those are the distinction is what I understand, but intersectionality is such a good point because you could be diverse in multiple ways. You could be a minority who's also transgender, or in my case, well, not my case, where I used to live, I was a minority and single mother. So I had, 2 strikes against me. I like to put it that way. Anyway, I'll stop there. Like I said, I'm a little too sleepy to write it up, so please forgive me for just giving kind of a verbal feedback of what I've read. And please respond to my video. Thank you. Bye-bye.